And a fifth round of nuclear talks with Iran is happening today in Rome. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff is representing the U.S., and Iran's foreign minister is pushing back against the U.S. position that Tehran cannot keep enriching uranium. Weijia Jiang joins us now from our Washington bureau to talk more about this. Good morning, Weijia. Great to see you. This has been an elusive deal for so long. Can we really expect any progress on a nuclear deal between the U.S. and Iran anytime soon?
Well, Errol, just the very fact that they are having these talks, I think, is significant because both parties have made their red lines publicly and quite clear, and that is the uranium that you're talking about. The U.S. says even 1% of enriching uranium for Iran would not be acceptable, whereas Iran says no enrichment equals no deal. Now, if you enrich uranium at high levels, that is when it can be weaponized and turned into a nuclear weapon. Iran says they would agree not to do that, but they want to maintain lower levels because nuclear energy is used for many things that are not making a nuclear weapon. But the U.S. says that is not acceptable, and they've expressed this publicly, so the fact that they are sitting at the table at all is significant. When I was on Air Force One with President Trump last week, I asked him if the U.S. had sent Iran a formal proposal to consider, and at the time he said yes, that they did, and that they were able to look at the details. But after that, Iran said that wasn't true. And so we have to wait, Errol, to see exactly where these sides are and if they can make some actual substantive progress, given there already seems to be this stalemate.
The fact that they're talking, though, quite significant. Weijia, I want to ask you about another major headline. The Trump administration is now barring Harvard from enrolling international students. That's throwing so many young people's lives up into the air. How might this impact not just Harvard, but other universities? And what's the pushback?
Well, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, says this should be a warning to other universities. Now, remember, her department, DHS, asked Harvard for very specific reporting on all of its international students, including any videos, any written articles that these students might have engaged in, because they claim that many of these international students are participating in anti-Semitic activities. They're also accusing these international students of working with the Chinese Communist Party. Take a listen to what Noem herself had to say.
They will no longer be allowed to participate in this student exchange visitor program, and that's up to 27% of their enrolled students. This should be a warning to every other university to get your act together. Get your act together, because we are coming to make sure that these programs, that you are facilitating an environment where students can learn, where they're safe.
Now, Harvard says this is unlawful, and so that sort of suggests that they will try to challenge this on the law. But you can see, Errol, here just how many students are going to be impacted. Nearly 7,000. That's more than a fourth of their population. And, you know, even if they are not expelled or if not forced to transfer, this is causing a lot of confusion and concern for these students who do contribute a lot to the research community, as just one example. And I say that because people we've interviewed just about the ongoing battle with Harvard say that that's a real concern, especially when the U.S. is trying to dominate in areas like artificial intelligence. They need the brain power from all over the world to do that. So there's a lot of concern that there could be a drain of that if these students feel intimidated and go elsewhere.
Yeah, and these students would have to make other plans, and it could have a real chilling effect in the long term. Weijia, great to see you. Thanks for joining us from our DC bureau.